Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're focusing in on a very intense subject, and that is the aftermath of being in a relationship with a psychopathic individual. And if it's a female, a male, either way, I think that oftentimes that the female psychopath oftentimes gets looked over, or people say just that's how women are. But there are definitely psychopathic females in society that go undetected, who are just thought to be, naturally beautiful, charming, strong, embracing for that, that sort of persona or personality type. And yet they exploit and take advantage of others. And really what I want to discuss here is really the feeling and resultant of emotional rape. It is a very strong term, but I think it's very accurate in terms of how a victim, someone who feels after being in a relationship who they have been targeted by this type of individual. And a psychopath is an individual who is born this way. And they do realize that in their teens, when they realize that others are kind of connecting on emotional levels, laughing, getting together, holding hands, enjoying it in sports and connecting with others, that they don't really look at life the same way. They don't have the same sort of emotional connection to others. They feel, they feel just sort of an emptiness inside of this. They don't have that same emotional connection, and they observe others, and then they realize that consciously that they're not held back. They don't tend to ask themselves the same questions, have the same roadblocks in them that most people do. In other words, if I were to do this would hurt somebody. So they don't have the same brakes on the car. They don't have a sort of system in place, which is very serious, to stop them from hurting, abusing, and exploiting others, or really keeping a mask of pathology or of pathological lies with which they put forth into the world. And oftentimes very duplicitous, very deceptive, in concealing really the fact that they do not have a conscience. They aren't sensitive to hurting others. They aren't sensitive to animals. They aren't sensitive to their family members. They have no sort of connection. They have, what they feel is a tremendous amount of freedom, and they tend to perceive this quote unquote gift in a very positive way. And so this really leads to what others feel is an emotional rape, where they have been deliberately and calculatedly conditioned and programmed by this individual through their charm, through their breaking annihilation of their boundaries, through oftentimes what's very typical of a psychopath is they're very unflinching. They have a very suppressed emotional reaction, especially to things that would be in presence of fear or hurt. So they have a very suppressed, reaction to things that ordinary people would go, oh my God, they'd gasp, they'd flinch, they'd cry. The psychopath has very suppressed reactivity to these normal things. Loss of a child, loss of a pet, loss of a relationship, loss of a job. They just feel that they don't have that same attachment. They do not have love. They do not care. And a lot of people are just completely and utterly shocked that there can be almost this very zombie-like, corpse-like type of individual that is housed within the body of this person. And I think that's really what happens in the exposure, is that you have realized that you have allowed yourself to become emotionally open in a landscape to this person, where they've basically, planted like a landmine, like a bomb within you of negativity that just, once they expose it, you erupt and you're like, oh my God. And then they just really are like, so I'm, this is who I am. And it's very deliberate and calculating, and they know the devastation that they're going to create in people. So that's oftentimes why they're very observative, and they tend to have a predatory stare. They are interspecies predator, in the words of Dr. Robert Hare, who's studied this population at length. But that's how they, the gaze with which oftentimes people feel very comforted, I think initially, by this person's gaze, because they're so filled with this testosterone and this aggression and this sexualized kind of seduction in both the male and the female, and they tend to emanate this sort of glow or this sort of energy around them that's very seductive or very calming, and very kind of causes you to drop your guard down, and subconsciously creates this asphyxiation, or not this asphyxiation, but kind of fixation onto them. So you become fixated, you become obsessed, you become so enamored with them and allured in, kind of like very magnetic into their energy field, because there's something so unique and different about them. And a lot of people, unbeknownst to them, when they're in the presence, they tend to interpret this in a very positive way. This person puts me at ease. This person gives me this eye contact. This person seems to drop everything when I'm around. This person seems to call me all the time. This person seems to ooze this sexuality, or ooze this smooth and glibness, and just, they're funny, or, whatever it is that you're interpreting in the idealization phase as very positive. And it's because of this suppressed emotional reactivity to things that normally people would be sensitive to, and coupled with their deliberate attention to whatever it is that they want from you, it tends to create a very severe intensity, which is not intimacy, basically, which takes place very early, very quickly in the relationship. You get a lot of self-disclosure from this person, and you then do the same. And so you feel like you've let them into your heart, you've let them into your life, you've let them into your family, you've let them get very close to you, but yet this is someone who is very much a violator, very much not only intimidating, but someone who has your destruction as their end point or end resultant. And the destruction meaning that they have basically served you a lie, presented a lie, presented a mask which was a lie, giving you a lot of word salad, things that trigger you, and basically have crafted this lie of it can be the whole entire person that they present to you as so many layers, of which they have deceived you, that it's almost like it was unbeknownst to you. So it's a really true violation. And when we talk about the word rape, I mean, that's basically, unwilling participation. And unwillingly, you would not have participated in this relationship if you knew the severity of the disorder within this person. And so I think that is that how they kind of got through your boundaries or got through your awareness, I think, is what is so terrifying. And so that's why it's so important, once you gain the awareness, once you realize what has happened, to go completely no contact. That is the best thing you can do, and to stop caring about this person, because this person does not care about you. And then as you can gradually let go of the fear and the violation and the boundary annihilation that goes with it, and the gaslighting, and the feeling like I can't ever trust myself again, I can't trust people, because the bottom line is that it is a life-changing relationship. It is a life-changing awareness, and you have to kind of turn this around and alchemize it in a positive manner. And even though a lot of other people will not be able to understand where you're coming from, that's part of the devastation, is that they don't see what you have seen. They don't know what you have known. I mean, it's for your eyes only. And I think that's what's so very isolating and scary, is that only you have basically seen what a lot of people feel is like very demonic. It's very evil. It's very cold, interspecies predator. I mean, this is not your typical person, and it's not just how people see in the movies. You couldn't have seen it coming. This person could have been wearing a suit. This person could have been wearing a lab coat. This person could have been wearing, a dress. Holding a responsible, job. Families, kids. They don't look like the typical psychopath that's portrayed in movies. They don't appear that way. They're not incarcerated, even though I'm sure what they have done to you is worthy of incarceration, just because of the underhanded way of which they have betrayed you. And what I really feel is, and what Thomas Sheridan says in his book, is an emotional rape. You have become, emotionally violated in this way, and it's very scary, very difficult to heal through. But we're here on the channel to let you know that there are other people like you who have witnessed this, gone through this, and have healed through it. Work through the tools that we discussed here on the channel. The recovery journal, the recovery date, resensitizing yourself, using your affirmations, and time will heal it. So if anything more in this video that I can give is to let you know that there are tools that we present here. There are people who have come through this and, alchemize the experience for the better, and to realize that this person perhaps was a gift to give to you to kind of waken up, protect yourself, know that you're worthy of protecting, and furthermore, that you can come through this and be a better, stronger person, having been through it, and then to learn to protect yourself through the boundaries, the awareness, and that furthermore, when you move forward in life, that these boundaries are going to be yours. You're going to be able to enforce them even stronger as you continue to do this work. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.